My ex-girlfriend has given me the opportunity for a new life. Hi, I would like to share a story. When I was in my late teens, I was often experimenting with narcotics. Nothing too hardcore, but enough to make me weak and lazy. I was also very skinny, but never really cared about those things. My first girlfriend was very athletic, as she was into wrestling and had a background in gymnastics as well. She had short red hair, blue eyes, and always looked like she was suppressing a laugh. One day, I went to pick her up during her wrestling practice. I had seen her in her regular clothes, and I always thought she had a great figure, but when I saw her in her wrestling outfit, I noticed that she was very muscular. But not like those female bodybuilders, as she had a very natural look. She was practicing with a kid who must have been 16, but looked very strong. When I arrived, my girlfriend was completely destroying him. I secretly rooted for him to win for my own self-assurance, but she was not going to let that happen. It was truly intimidating to see what she did to that guy. When the match was over, he left, and she looked exhausted. I wanted to convince myself that I would be able to handle her, so I foolishly stepped on the mat and asked her to wrestle. At first she laughed and said no. I insisted, however, and then playfully pinned her down. This was enough to convince her, and she told me to wait a minute so she could stabilize her breathing. After the minute had passed, she asked if I was ready, and before I knew it, she went completely ham on me. I am really glad that no one was there to see what she did to me. I had tried to reassure myself, but I didn't even get to a point where I could even show some of my strength. She started to push me, and when I wanted to push back, she flipped me over her hips and locked me on the ground. She jokingly dismantled me and asked me if I had enough already. At that point I gave up, as I knew there was nothing I could prove to myself anymore. Me, being a silly teenager, was bothered that a girl had beaten me so easily, and it was really bugging me the next day. I felt ashamed and distanced myself a bit from her. When she seemed to notice, I assured her everything was fine, as I did not want to admit to what I was feeling. I was scared that she would just laugh at me. When I came back to my room in the evening, I broke down and cried. This whole ordeal had given me the feeling that I was somehow unworthy of her. I really loved this girl, but I felt she deserved better than a man that could not even stand up to her for 1 minute. This made me feel so insecure that I stopped asking her out. A few weeks passed by, when she suddenly came up to me and asked why I was no longer calling or texting her, as she started to worry if she did something wrong. I had no choice to admit to her that I felt she was too good for me. She was beautiful, well-educated, and so talented that it just made me feel like a complete loser. She was slightly taken back by my feelings, but told me she understood, and not long after that we simply became friends. I still had a crush on her, however, and decided I would turn my life around. I stopped taking narcotics, started to clean up my life, and even decided that it was time to hit the gym. In order to keep motivated, I printed her picture I had taken in one of her wrestling matches and put it up in my room. When I woke up in the morning, I would take a good look at that picture and remind myself about what she did to me on the mat. 2 years later, our lives drifted apart, but her picture remained. It would always be on my wall, and I would look at her and think about how helpless she made me feel. Time passed, and by the time I was 25, I could finally walk into a gym and feel truly confident. Her picture never left my wall, and now I look at that picture differently. She has given me such deep-rooted respect for her, and she has my most sincere gratitude. That one human being caused such a change in me and gave me the motivation to throw my life around. Recently, I searched for her name on Facebook and found her profile. I am no longer looking for any romantic connection, as I am sure we have both grown out of each other. But I wonder if it would be a good idea to meet her and explain to her that everything I have and will ever have is due to her. Update. A lot has happened in my life since I wrote my story. Feeling confident by the encouragement I got, I went to meet my ex-girlfriend today to tell her how much she changed my life. So the very next day of writing my story, I sent her a Facebook message, telling her that I would love to meet up and that I owed her a small gift. She quickly messaged me back that she would love to catch up. First, I thought I should bring her flowers, but flowers can have a romantic connotation, and I did not want to give her that impression. I got her a female action figure instead. I also made a card that read, "Some superheroes do not know they are superheroes until their story is told to them by the people they have influenced. Without you, I would be nothing." When I met her, Her red hair had grown, and she obviously looked more mature. We hugged and ordered a coffee. I gave her the action figure and the card, and told her that I had brought her here to tell her how she turned my life around. I even told her about the picture, and said to her that if she hadn't crushed me on that mat, my life would likely have gone nowhere. Without narcotics, and with newfound motivation, I was able to finish my degree. I even got a job and started my career, all things I had never imagined. She was so moved by this that she had to cry. She assured me that back in the day, she had always felt very safe around me, and told me that she liked that I was funny and would make her laugh. It made her very proud to know that she had such a positive impact on my life, and encouraged me to keep it up. She urged me, however, that I should not forsake my qualities that she had fallen in love with so many years prior. She told me a great physique is nice to look at, but that I was so much more than that. Her words were so self-reflective for me. It really made me think if I still had all those traits, or if I lost them along the way. I'm glad she mentioned these things, as it was great meeting with her again. I still have a lot of self-reflecting to do and hope we will meet again sometime soon.